Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, Sucha Anand says to the Chote Sahibzaade, if we let you go, what will you do? They go, I will go and find my father, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. We will get together the Guru Khalsa. We will bring spears. We'll bring barshe. We'll bring kuman, bows. We'll bring tir, arrows. We'll bring banduk, guns will come down. We'll rain down such a justice upon you for what you have done. As many times as you release us, as many times as you set us free from these chains, we will go. We will never surrender. For the Guru Khalsa, the mandate of the Khalsa is to bring light where there is injustice. क्या हो कथी कथे गत देखा मैं कथन कथन न जाए जो तुद पावे सोही आखा तिल तेरी वडियाए तान 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 जन आया जिस प्रसाद सब जगत तराया तान 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 जन आया जिस प्रसाद सब जगत तराया. परम सत्कार योग गुरु खालसा साध संगत जी, गज वज के फतेह बुलाओ. वाहे गुरु जी का खालसा, वाहे गुरु जी की फतेह. We're all blessed to be in the company of Sahib Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj in their 11th, in their eternal form, Sahib Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And in this time that we have to come together in this month, as we go into this period of time, there's much sacrifice to be reflected upon in Pohodamina. There's so much blood that has been spilt in the preservations of Dharam, in the preservation of Dharam, in the preservation of the opportunity that presents itself to us every single day when we wake and we breathe in the Guru's teachings and bring light into our life. How is it that we have the freedom availed to us? How is it that we have the freedom availed to us to enable us to enjoy such a blessing? We stand upon the shoulders of giants. We walk upon the path forged by those that have given their blood. For Sikh Dharam is a Dharam that is born out of persecution, out of the suffering of this entire world. We go further back even before to the teachings of WhyGuru Ji, and they speak about the suffering of this earth. They say, Suni Pukar, hearing the cries of the pain of this earth. Suni Pukar Datar Prabh, Guru Nanak Jag, Mahi Bataya. They're hearing the cries of this earth, hearing the pains of those wading in separation, in duality, under the persecution, under the lack of permission to be one with who we really are inside. In those difficult times, the earth cried out, save us from this duality, save us from this suffering, save us from this persecution of the soul. And in response to those prayers, the giver, the benevolent one, that one who is Ikka Oankara, in answer to those prayers, that one would come in the form of one, they would come in the form of two, they would come in the form of 11 as we sit before them today. And we go now to the time when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj was upon this earth. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, we think of them as a poet, as the greatest poet that ever lived in the physical form. We think of them as a saint. We think of them as a warrior, and none would be wrong to describe them as such. For they are all of these things, the greatest warrior, the greatest poet, the greatest saint. It is said, as we speak of the Chote Sahibzaade, the Shaheedi, the sacrifice of the Chote Sahibzaade, we're going to just reflect. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj was only a balak, they were only in the physical form of a child. They would be with their mama, their maternal uncle, Mama Kirpal Chand. And in one particular instance in history, they get taken to the river. This is Guru Gobind Singh Ji, not as perhaps as we mostly focus upon them in their adult physical form. And as Mama Kirpal Chand takes them to the river, Guru Maharaj, they jump into the water, unbeknownst to all that they could even swim. And they're swimming around in that water. And they come back to the shore. And when Mamaji takes Gobind Rai, as they would have been referred to at that time, they'd bring them back home. Mata Gujar Kaur. Mata Gujar Kaur, the Mahal, the wife of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the mother of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they would, in a loving way, express their anxiousness as to what was being narrated. You put Gobind Rai in the water, they were swimming, we didn't even know he could swim. How could you let it be? What could have befallen this situation? And so she's scolding Mama Kirpal Chand. She's scolding her brother in a loving way. And in our itihas it is written, because Mama Kirpal Chand, they weren't an ordinary soul. They were themselves blessed to be in the house of the Guru. They would give such a teaching that really illustrates who we sit before today. Whose seva we have a chance to do, perchance we have a chance to pick up the Chote Sahib and wave it above the Guru's head today. Mama Kirpal Chand would give this teaching. They would say, don't worry, Bana, don't worry, my sister. Be that one, Gobind Rai is swimming today, don't worry. They're perfectly capable of swimming. A time will come when they will ferry many thousands across this world ocean. We say these words as just a flick of the tongue, a few vowels and a few consonants, but what meaning can we give? What true understanding can we give to these words? Mataji says, Mataji is told by Mama Kirpal Chand, but you're talking about your anxiety, him being in this ocean. Gobind Rai will be the one that will carry many thousands across this world ocean. Manne Tare Tare Gur Sikh. Guru Maharaj gives this to us in their first form. Guru Nanak Patsha, the King of all kings, explains, Manne, if we believe, if we take the time to listen to the Guru's teachings, that they penetrate our heart, that they live within our actions, be manne, and we believe those teachings, Tare, not only will we be saved, but we will be able to save many others through that grace. Manne Tare Tare Gur Sikh. Sare akho, Manne Tare Tare Gur Sikh. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, Guru Gobind Rai, when Gobind Rai was just a little bit older, they would return home from being out on their adventures. And one of their bangles is missing upon their wrist. Mataji notices, Mata Gujar Kaur notices, and they say to their son, one of your gold bangles are missing. Where is it gone? And Gobind Rai says, come with me, Mataji. As they go to the river banks once again. She goes, where is it, Bodh? Where is that bangle that is lost in this world from your wrist? And Gobind Rai, as everyone is searching upon the banks of the river, Gobind Rai would take his other bangle off and he would throw it into the river. He goes, just where this one has landed over there, that is where you'll find the first. Mataji is probably not understand in that particular moment. We're questioning what teaching was this. But we look to the scholars, the great saints that we have had a chance to read through. We've had a chance to do the Khoj of and listen to the Katha of. What teaching was this that was being bestowed? Be Gobind Rai, even in the form of Balak, they're saying, a time will come when you will have two princes in your lap in time to come. I will have two gold bangles in mine in time to come. And the test will be, can we cast those away? Will our attachment prevent us from casting those away? These aren't just bangles that are being cast into the river. Guru Gobind Rai was speaking, they're saying that a time will come when I will be standing upon the top of a gadi. and I will stand against a foe of 1.8 million. A million Mughal soldiers will come to take away our dharam. Neher Khan, Khwaja Mardood, the Mughals will be dispatched in such a number that it will just look like a sea. And as they crash, wave and wave and wave upon this gari, and I'll just be with the 40 Singhs that are in my company. I will have with me 2 princes, Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, and I will have to cast them into that battlefield. As they do their asisa, they do their bint, they make their requests for permission to enter the field. And we will know that in the weeks to come, as we celebrate the Shaheedi of Baba Ajit Singh Ji, that they would enter that battlefield and they would wage war upon persecution itself with a spear, with a bow and arrow, with arrows entering their chest. 300 arrows would enter their chest, but not one would enter the back of Baba Ajit Singh Ji. Surah so pehchaniye jo lare deen ke heta, purja purja katmre kabuna chade kheta. In our history it's written, Baba Ajit Singh Ji, as they fight those Mughals, they're covered with 300 arrows in their chest, but not one is in their back. Purja purja katmre kabuna chade kheta. They've never once turned their back to the enemy. That they would be surpassed by none, for they were the greatest warrior, save for one. Baba Ajit Singh Ji, they're 18 years old, the greatest warrior in the battlefield, we can say, perhaps save for one. For they would be surpassed only by one on that battlefield, their younger brother, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji would enter that field, and for 3 hours and 45 minutes they would cut such shapes into the Mughals and those Bihari Hill Raja that have come to bring about the destruction, the desecration of the Guru Khalsa Panth. 3 hours and 45 minutes. If you read Guru Pratap Suraj Granth, you will hear, you will read, you will come to know. For 3 hours and 45 minutes, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji is fighting upon the field. The 52 greatest warriors of all time, including Hanuman, have come from the heavens. The Dev, they have come to sing the praises. As they look down, they've heard, but who is this Baba Zorawar Singh Ji? Who is this by Himmat Singh? Who is this by Taram Singh? Who are these great of those Panch Pyare by Himmat Singh, by Martyrdom Singh, by Sahib Singh, that they walk upon this field as if only exists for them? The chariots are being sent down from Sachkhand, and Bhai Himmat Singh is waving them away, saying, Halle tak nahi. We are in Anand right now. We just mentioned Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji. But of course, we go back one step. The Guru Khalsa has been initiated, it's 1700. The Guru Khalsa has been initiated into this world. The Mughals, the Bihari Hill Raja, they're in fear because there is one that has destroyed inequality and said it doesn't matter which caste you come from. When you drink from the butter, when you drink from the sword of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, you are elevated to the status of Khalsa, Khalis, pure. The Bihari Hill Raja are waging war as Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj and the Singhs and the Guru Khalsa, around 1,000 have emptied from Anandpur Sahib. As we get to the Sarsa River, by Uday Singh, that great warrior, that great Nit Avatar, by Uday Singh, Baba Ajit Singh Ji at the back. Of course, it's Asa Divar, the Sama, it's Amrit Vela di Sama. So the Khalsa, they've collected upon the riverbanks whilst the war is chasing them. The real battle is the one in the mind. And so that time of Amrit Vela has now given itself to the Khalsa. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj is sitting upon the banks of the river. The waves and the speed of the current is licking the sides like a snake waiting to take its bite. It will get its chance. Asa Divar is being resounded. Bhai Uday Singh becomes Shaheed, the brother of Bhai Bajitar Singh Ji. We know the Nagini Barsa. There's so much to our history. Where do we place our focus? So now, as the Khalsa crosses that river, the river rises to meet the Guru Khalsa and give it its embrace. Hundreds of Sikh drown in the river. Countless manuscripts and valuable artifacts are lost. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj and the 40 Singhs go to Chamkor di Gari with the 2 bangles, those two priceless gems that we just spoke of, that was being forespoken of when Guru Maharaj is speaking of throwing bangles in the river. Guru Maharaj goes with Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji. They go to Chamkor di Gari. If we have time, if Guru Sahib is kind to us, in this month of Poho that is now approaching upon us. We'll get to visit that itihas and go in detail. But now, let's direct our minds. We go now to recognize that Baba Deep Singh Ji, Bhai Mani Singh Ji, Mata Sundar Kaur, Mata Sahib Kaur, they go in another direction. And we are now following Mata Gujar Kaur. Mata Gujar Kaur and those two other bangles, those two other golden bangles, those two other princes. Who do I speak of? Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh Ji, 6 years old. Other historical accounts write 5 years. They're in their, we can say for certain that they're in their 6th year. At the least, at the most, they're in their 6th year. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, they're in their 9th year. Baba Mata Gujar Kaur is crossing the river, and the way that it's described in our itihas, it will grab your heart. That they come across a horse from a Brahman. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji is 9 years old, in their 9th year in the physical form. They got their arms around Mata Gujar Kaur as he sat up behind the horse. Mata Ji sat in the middle. Baba Fateh Singh Ji sat in her bridle, in the bridle of the horse, upon her laps as well. And Baba Fateh Singh Ji is turning, Dadi Ma, beware is Pitaji. Beware of my older brothers. Where are the kings? Where's Baba Ajit Singh Ji? Where is Baba Jajar Singh Ji? Mataji is quiet. It's the 7th of Poh. And they're traveling in this way. On the 8th of Poh, they meet Gangu Brahman. Gangu Brahman, if you read in Guru Pratap Suraj Granth, they were one of the Masans. They would look after one of the Gurdwara. If you go to the teachings of Principal Sadbir Singh, it's written that he was one of the kitchen staff in one of the Guru Kar, but in any which way we can say that they were a servant in one way or one shape of the house. And I use the word servant in inverted commas. For we know from what happens at Gangu Brahman, he takes the Chote Sahibzaade Mata Gujar Kaur, their grandmother, the Mahal, the wife of Nome Pacha Sahib Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. They take them to their village and into their house. But in his mind, outwardly he's smiling, but inwardly he's full of greed and jealousy, and all of these things have corrupted him. And it's really important that we understand this, Sad Sangat Ji. We don't often talk about these things in a negative way, but we have to just be a little bit aware, and perhaps relevant events as of late make this mention even more necessary. But not everybody who outwardly has a certain appearance are ones that we should fall at the feet of. Not everybody that takes an appearance outwardly is something that we should be willing to just throw our feet at. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj gives us a teaching, Jio mele baharo nirmal jyote mele tini janam juwe hariya. There are those, outwardly they look very pure, baharo nirmal, but andro they're very dirty and they're very much consumed by their own demons inside. And so in this way, we've got just that teaching. We won't say any more. Those that will know of what I'm speaking of, but let's just be a bit careful. Guru Maharaj gives us all the answers, but we're not asking the right questions. Who can we say is the true Sangat? Guru Maharaj tells us, if we're in doubt about where the true Sangat is, Maharaj says, Sat Sangat kaisi janiye, jitte eko naam vakhaniye. Maharaj explains to us, Sat Sangat kaisi janiye. How do we know that we're in the company of the true Sangat? When we sit before Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, we're in the company of the One. Sat Sangat kaisi janiye, jitte eko naam vakhani, where the name of the One resounds. Sare akho ji, WhyGuru, WhyGuru, WhyGuru. Guru Bihari Sadhan, just a quick departation, but perhaps for our own safekeeping, our own safeguarding. When you're ever in a place where you're not sure, take a moment to just reflect on what you have taken in that place. When I'm blessed to be in the company of Gursikhs, I can close my eyes and I know from the feeling, that vibration that I have from being in the company of those that would sacrifice themselves for the Guru Khalsa, that I'm blessed and I'm lucky to be there, there's an energy of gratitude and appreciation. that I've learnt something or I've felt something. Sat sangat kaisi janiye jithe eko naam vakhaniye. We must have a little bit of trust to the teachings of the Guru. Maharaj is saying to us, where the name is vibrating, where the naam is vibrating from within. And that doesn't just necessarily mean outwardly. You'll know in your own heart when you're gripped from a place of gratitude, Maharaj, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. We was lucky enough to be at a university a few weeks ago. It was a collection of universities that had come together in London. SOAS, UCL, LSE and King's came together. And as we did vichar with these poor students, and all students are poor these days with university fees and the cost of living, we started vibrating upon the Shabad, and it became so beautiful. The Sangat there was so kind and giving in their grace. And I just ran a little social experiment. And these are students, you all know, those who have been through university, how meager things can be, how difficult times can be. I said to the Sangat that was together, said, we're in a place of bliss right now, and everybody's faces were smiling. I said, to any of you right now, if you were offered £1,000, but the only condition was you couldn't be here, you have to be somewhere else right now, would you take it? From a place of honesty. Not one of those students put their hands up. I won't tell you what number we reached before a couple of them started to waver, but £1,000, you wouldn't think it. But the truth of the matter is, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, when you feel that connection to the Sangat, be conscious of what you're feeling, because if you're conscious of it, then you'll value that place. And then you'll know tomorrow that's where I want to be. If you pass through these things without being conscious of that place, then how can you be conscious of where you want to be or where you should be? Sat sangat kaisi janiye jithe eko naam vakhani. Wherever the name is vibrating and resounding, you'll only, if you know it to be true, because we focus on that place, then you'll know where you want to be, and you'll know, more importantly, there's nowhere else that you need to be. Mata Gujar Kaur is there, Baba Fateh Singh, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, they're in the house of Gangu Brahman. Gangu Brahman is outwardly smiling and showing all of their teeth. And they're saying, look, I'm here to serve you. But in their minds, all they can think of is the gold that Mata Gujar Kaur is carrying in her purse. And in the night, Gangu Brahman steals it away. Mataji sees this taking place, and in the morning she questions Gangu Brahman. Gangu Brahman feigns insult and upset and says, how dare you accuse me of this, when in fact he was the thief, he was that traitor, outwardly looking very, very moral and pure and nirmal, but under they're full of their shortcomings, the Afghan. They report and they betray the trust of Mata Gujar Kaur and the Chote Sahibzaade. They're arrested and they're taken to a prison where they're given no food. That's on the 9th of Bo. On the 10th of Bo, they get taken to Wazir Khan in Sirhind. Wazir Khan has been hunting Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. In his mind, he's bent upon bringing an end to the Khalsa under the auspices, under the instructions of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb writes in his diary that I wish for the whole of Hindustan to be converted under the banner of Islam. You can read that in the British Library, where Aurangzeb's diary is written, or you could just read the Tika of Gyani Gurbachan Singh Ji, and that will probably serve you better. But we go now to Sirhind. Wazir Khan has said, be now that one that has evaded me, I have his mother. I have Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj's 2 sons. Surely now, this is going to be a victory for me. Wazir Khan instructs for Mata Gujar Kaur and the Chote Sahibzaade to be placed out on the Thanda Burj. The Thanda Burj is like an enclave. It's like a bit of brickwork that has been engineered out of a mountainside to jut out. It's jut out in such a way that the wind that is coming across the water is cooled to such an extent that even in Jedamina, when it is so hot, people would go there because it would still be cool there. So what now of Bodhamina? In this dark age, in this dark time of Bodhamina, it's so cold that the wind is like a whip, whipping away at your skin. And Mata Gujar Kaur is placed out there upon the Thanda Burj, and she has Baba Fateh Singh, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji in their embrace, who are in the physical form of 6 and 9 years old. Mataji is hearing the conversations of Baba Fateh Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji. The poet's right. Baba Fateh Singh Ji is saying, I'm going to be so angry when I see Guru Gobind Singh Ji. He always takes me everywhere. He always takes me everywhere. When I see him, I'm not going to speak to him straight away. Baba Fateh Singh Ji is saying this. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji is saying these sorts of things. This is the exchange that Mata Gujar Kaur is listening to. They're here walking upon the steps. The door to the Thanda Burj is opened on the 10th, on the 11th Pohna of Poh. 2 soldiers walk out upon the Thanda enclave and they say to Mata Gujar Kaur, give me the 2 princes, give me the 2 sons, I need to present them before the public court. Listen very carefully in our itihas. Mata Gujar Kaur asks the question, what do you want with these 2 young princes? What's their crime? What have they done to be treated in this way? Their soldiers have been told by Wazir Khan to speak very sweetly, for he has his own plan, which we're going to learn about in the next few moments. The soldiers say, we just want to talk to you. That's all that we want to do. Don't worry, we just want to talk to you, directing his mind and his words to the Chote Sahibzaade to reassure them. Mata Gujar Kaur, Mataji, we're just going to take the Chote Sahibzaade, we just want to talk to them. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, listen very carefully. There are still people that are approaching our sisters on university campuses, at places of work, and the intention is far from true. And the horror stories that we hear 6 months, 9 months later, as they unfold, and we hear them from their mothers and their fathers as pictures are being shown and compromising situations are being described. And we say to those daughters, we say, how did it begin? They say, he just came up to me. It seemed really friendly. He just said, I just want to talk to you. Just give me your number. This situation always begins with the words. It doesn't ever begin, let me take you in a difficult place and show you the sharp edge of a blade. It's always going to be a smiling face like Gangu Brahma. And that's a teaching to all of us. And it's really important that we understand it's not a matter of education. It's a matter of it's a matter of who do you want to be. For who you want to be will direct who you speak to and where you want to go. I'm going to say that again. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, if you want to be strong, you go to the gym. If you want to be physically fit, you go to the track and you run. If you want to learn how to fight, you go to the akhada. If you want to be a Sikh of the Guru, why would you spend any company in any other place other than a place where the Guru's itihas is propagated? Why would we want to speak to anybody else in that instant, in that aspect, in that respect? They say, we just want to talk to you. As they take the Chote Sahibzaade, as they get to the Burj, the entrance, Mataji says, I'll be waiting for you. To Baba Fateh Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, I'll be waiting for you. Baba Fateh Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, she says, I can hear many things. I can hear that you've come to leave this world, but I can't come to hear that you've forsaken your Gursikhi. Dige na dole, drir kar rahe ho, puran hoye triptani. Dige na dole, don't fall, don't fall, don't waver. Drir kar rahe ho. Drir, there's no direct translation to drir, but you know intuitively what it means because Gurbani speaks to the heart. Without a translation, even then you know, be stay true, stay pakka, stay firm, be iron. In this way, what will happen? Puran hoy triptani. In this way, all of your thirst will be satisfied. You'll become completely content. Sare akho dige na dole, drir kar rahe ho, puran hoy triptani. Puran hoy triptani, 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 puran hoy triptani. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, direct your mind. Even with a voice as broken as mine, you can't make Gurbani sound bad. Puran hoy triptani. Direct your mind, be puran hoy, become so firm in your faith that you become so satisfied from the Guru's itihas and the Guru's bani that there's no questions. That when somebody should walk to you and say, I just want to talk to you, say, it's okay, thank you very much. It's your choice. that first conversation, that second conversation. Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, they take the Chote Sahibzaade down. The intention, Wazir Khan, they've arranged for 20 to 22 kings of small kingdoms to come and have their representatives sit in the court. But now we have the king's sons. We have the king, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. We have his Chote Sahibzaade. When we break them, when we bring them into the fold, then what will happen? Then many will follow. So what do? They brought all of these kings to demonstrate what it means to be in this court of Wazir Khan. That nobody else should stand against that one. But look what I'm going to do. What has Wazir Khan done? He's made a small door that when the Chote Sahibzaade have to enter this court, this so-called court, they will have to bow their heads to go through. Sucha Anand is being led. He's the courtier. He's taking the Chote Sahibzaade, and as they get to that door, they say to Sucha Anand says to the Chote Sahibzaade, we go through that door and you have to say salam to Wazir Khan. Baba Fateh Singh Ji turned to Sucha Anand. They said, don't worry, we know what to do. They say, don't worry, we know what to do. But they don't fall for the trap. As they approach that short, small door, Baba Fateh Singh Ji, what do? They don't lower their head. They put their feet through that door first as they lean back and they enter that court. Sare akho, WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa. They roar the Fateh of Sahib Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Be WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa. Be all of the purity of this world. The Guru Khalsa itself is a gift from WhyGuru that belongs to WhyGuru. WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh, be the Fateh that's going to take place here. This Fateh Kar, as it would then go on to be known, is also belonging to Akal Purakh WhyGuru. Sare akho, WhyGuru. Sucha Anand turns to Wazir Khan and he's embarrassed. He goes, they won't say the Fateh, but Wazir Khan in his mind, he's full of delight. He's thinking, look at these two princes. Wah, they're so stern. They're so iron. But they're going to be great when they join this panth. When they join when they give up their panth of the Guru Khalsa, when they become under the banner of Islam, they're going to be beautiful trophies. Look how strong they are in their dharam. And many questions are asked of Baba Fateh Singh Ji. They say, you won't bow before the emperor. You won't bow before the emperor's representative, the emperor's receiver, Wazir Khan. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh said, we already bowed today. We bowed before the king of all kings, Bandana. Har bandana gun gavo Gopal Rai. Because it's not a bad thing to bow. Because sadhu anjali puna vadda hai, ek bo vadda punya to serve the saints. Kar dandaot puna vadda hai, to bow before the Guru, to do matha tek, to bow before the Guru, to do dandaot, to put all of your body before the Guru is like as if you're a straight rod. Ek bo vadda punya hai. As we recite in Kirtan Swala every day, Gyani Ji will bless us with this Bani in just a few moments, in half an hour or so. Kar sadhu anjali puna vadda hai, kar dandaot puna vadda hai. But thank you for the invitation. We've already bowed before our Guru. We only bow before that one. Wazir Khan, they send them back to the Thanda Burj. They go back to the Burj, they say to Mataji, we passed the test. But any question that they asked of us, we spoke only of the glory of the Guru. We bowed only to the Guru. We refused any other request, and the salutation we gave was the Guru's Fateh. Mataji receives them, they give them a big jappi, and they're sitting once again now in each other's company. Are they cold? No, for they have the warmth of the Guru's Shabbat. Their lips are blue, their hands are frozen, the wind is whipping away. Poch tukhar navyapi kant milya haranau. Poch tukhar, that when the cold and the ice of Bodha Mina comes, tukhar navyapi, it has no consequence for you. It won't affect you. Why? Kanta Malia Haranao, because we are in our husband's embrace. We are in the husband's embrace. We are in the husband Lord's embrace. We are in the company of our Satguru WhyGuru. Pitati vauna lag gai, par brahm sarnai, chaugird hamare ram kar, dukh lagye na pai. There's no dukh that's going to come. There's no winds that are going to come and snatch away what's within when you're holding on so tight. And in this way now, Wazir Khan convenes the court on the second day, on the 11th of Poh. Sher Muhammad Khan is brought there, a great warrior, a battled, hardened warrior is brought forward. Sher Muhammad Khan, his brother Neher Khan, has been dispatched by the blessings of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj at Chamkaur di Gari. They tried to climb into the Gari, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj let loose an arrow, and it went into the forehead of Neher Khan and sent him from this world. Wajir Khan tries to play upon this with treacherous words like a snake, like a worm tongue from his mouth. He speaks and he says to Sher Muhammad Khan, now it's your chance to get revenge. But you can kill the two princes of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. What does Sher Muhammad Khan say? They say, listen, I'll find it correct. I'll find my chance on the battlefield against Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. For it is with that warrior and another warrior will take issues. But you're torturing children. But what is this? What is this form of barbarism? I want no part of this. I'll have my way on the battlefield, which is true and just. But Maler Kotla, he was an MP, if you were, a representation of this area, because we want no part of this. What you're doing right now is treacherous and is poisonous. Sher Muhammad Khan refuses to take up the call. But there are those that are already chutta in their minds. Sucha Anand is one. He's the courtier that tried to get the Chote Sahibzaade to bow. Now once again the soldiers are sent, and the Chote Sahibzaade have been told by Mataji, we were going to just take them down, we want to have another conversation. They go down, and as they leave the Thanda Burj, Mataji once again says, I'll be waiting for you. They go down, and Sucha Anand, they turn because they're so bloodthirsty. They've got such a bloodlust now. Their minds are so one track, they can't see the injustice of what they're doing. Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, Sucha Anand says to the Chote Sahibzaade, if we let you go, what will you do? They go, I will go and find my father, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. We will get together the Guru Khalsa. We will bring spears. We'll bring barshe. We'll bring kuman, bows. We'll bring tir, arrows. We'll bring banduk, guns. We'll come down. We'll rain down such a justice upon you for what you have done. And if we capture you and chain you once again and then release you, what will you do then? We'll do it again. And if we release you thereafter, oh, stop with these questions, Baba Fateh Singh Ji says. Baba Zorawar Singh says, stop with these questions. As many times as you release us, as many times as you set us free from these chains, we will go. We will never surrender. For the Guru Khalsa, the mandate of the Khalsa is to bring light where there is injustice. Sucha Anand turns to Wajir Khan, says, see, when you cut the head off a snake, you must also kill the baby snakes too, for they will grow up to bite. Wajir Khan doesn't know what to do. Sucha Anand, Ratan Singh Pangu, one of our respected historians, writes in Pant Prakash, they say we shouldn't call him Sucha Anand, we should call him Chutta Anand, for that were his actions. Sucha Anand takes Wajir Khan, who's wavering what to do. They take the Chote Sahibzaade outside from the court, and there are 3 shops there. One is selling sweets, one is selling toys, and the third is selling shastar. They say to the Chote Sahibzaade, go. Baba Fateh Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, they go past the sweet shop and the toy shop, and they go straight, they start picking up the shastar. They start picking up the talwar, examining the quality of the shastar. They say, what will you do with this? They go, we will cut the hearts. We will strike tyranny into those that are looking to persecute people in this world. Wajir Khan says, I know what we have to do. Wajir Khan sends the Chote Sahibzaade back to the Thanda Burj, and he goes and he bribes the Qazi, the Islamic clerk. He bribes the Qazi and says, do you have to read the fatwa that the Chote Sahibzaade, that they're going to become, that we have to kill them, we have to make them shaheed. The Chote Sahibzaade are still there, Maaf Karna Sad Sangat Ji, they haven't quite yet been sent back to the Thanda Burj. They hear that tomorrow, if they don't convert to Islam, that they're going to be bricked alive. They're going to have bricks placed upon their body, and it will encompass them, and they will be killed in this way. And the Chote Sahibzaade, they're letting out jagare. Earlier, the previous day, the Chote Sahibzaade have been told, in a way to intimidate them, Wajir Khan says, your older brothers are being killed. We've killed Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. They let out these false words. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji says, what do you know of killing Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj? How can you speak such words? How can you reach your hand out and grab the sun? How can you take a blade to an ocean of love? You don't even know of what you speak of when you speak of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And so on this second day now, they're being told that they're going to be made Shaheed. And the Chote Sahibzaade, they're in Chardi Kala. They go back to the Thanda Burj and they explain to Mataji, Mataji, asi fair test pass hoke aaya. We've come back today victorious once again, Mataji. And in that night, as the wind is whipping away, Mataji's, Bhai Veer Singh Ji describes that Mataji's condition, she's crying tears in Bairag. And as those tears are hitting the face of Baba Fateh Singh Ji, she's quickly wiping the face of Baba Fateh Singh Ji that he shouldn't wake. And one of the people who's been in charge with looking after the prisoners in Sirhind, his name is Moti Ram. Moti Ram has been given an instruction. All of the prison guards have been given an instruction by Wajir Khan fiercely that nobody should help should not help the Chote Sahib, that nobody can serve them. Moti Ram can't bear to see this, and in this way, Moti Ram, he risks everything and he takes warm milk to ease the suffering of those that are beyond this world. Was Mataji suffering in the worldly sense? Perhaps we can say yes, but they're already one with Paramatma. WhyGuru, they're beyond this world. Suniye Yoga Jugat Tan Ped, because they've heard the Shabad of the Guru, and in this way, the secrets of this body are not beyond them. So they drink the milk. Moti Ram has risked all, and if we have chance, we'll reflect upon what consequence, what Shaheedi Moti Ram receives. In short, Moti Ram later, his 6-year-old son is crushed through a wheel, and their 80-year-old mother is tortured to death, and Moti Ram in themselves are crushed through a wheel because they served the Chote Sahibzaade and Mata Gujar Kaur this warm dod. Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, what price have others paid that we can serve the Guru Sangat without any consequence? What price have others paid to serve the Guru Sangat that we shouldn't have to bear any price? In years to come, Singhs would bash through barricades on horseback, and they would fly into the Zorawar Darbar Sahib when it was made illegal. And arrows would rain down upon them, but they would say, no, you can't stop us doing Ishnan. Bi Ramdas Zorawar Nate, Sab Uttare Paap Kamate. What price has been paid by those that would ride through iron soldiers so that we can just fly on a plane to go and do Ishnan? Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji, let's open up our hearts from a place of gratitude and a place of shukran. Nabi Maharaj, you've done everything for us, man. All we got to do is walk through the forged path. Sare akho WhyGuru, WhyGuru, WhyGuru. In the early hours of that morning on the 13th of Pau, the day of the Shaheedi of the Chote Sahibzaade, Mataji, she takes out 2 new bane, neele bane, blue bane, and they put them upon the bodies of Baba Fateh Singh Ji. Can you imagine the 6-year-old form of Baba Fateh Singh Ji? The head of Baba Fateh Singh Ji as they are having the star tied, and the kalgi placed upon their head. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji are being placed in a bana. They've been having their body felt by their grandmother as they're being gripped and embraced. And I hear that familiar step for the 3rd day now as the jailers come to open the door and lead the Chote Sahibzaade down the steps. As they reach the steps, Baba Fateh Singh Ji pauses. Baba Fateh Singh Ji pauses and he turns. For on the last 2 days, Mata Gujar Kaur has been saying, I'll be waiting for you. But on this 3rd day, Mataji is not speaking. Baba Fateh Singh Ji pauses, he turns. He says, Mataji, Dadi Ma, as we've been going from this place, every day as we go, you give us your blessings and you say, I'll be waiting for you when you get back. But you've not said that today. Dadi Ma? As Baba Fateh Singh Ji, they're processing what's happening, that they're not going to come back. They realize, of course, Baba Fateh Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, they're going to go to Sachkhand. They're going to go and see Sahib Sri Guru Bahadur Ji Maharaj, who has already made that ultimate sacrifice, who they've heard about in the whole of their Jeevan. Baba Fateh Singh Ji pause. They say, Dadi Ma, I'll be waiting for you. Dadi Ma, come quickly. I'll be waiting for you. We're going to go have darshan of Guru Bahadur Ji Maharaj. I'll be waiting for you. And the Chote Sahibzaade, they get taken into that public place to be made an example of. But what they don't realize is that the Chote Sahibzaade are going to make an example of what tyranny is and what you should do in the face of tyranny. The Chote Sahibzaade have been told that if you don't give up your dharam, if you don't convert to Islam, you're going to be bricked alive. And the bricks are now being stacked. Shashal Begum, Bashal Begum, these two criminals, nobody else would do this, nobody else would undertake this task. But they've got these cases against them. They've been told, they've been bribed by Wazir Khan, that if you do this, if you kill these children in the physical form, as we can refer to them only, if you kill the princes of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, your sentences will be wiped. And so the bricks are being stacked close to the body of Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh Ji, and as these bricks are coming up, they're cutting out enclaves in these bricks so they can curve around the knees of Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh Ji. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji is very stern, 9 years old. They say to those that are bringing the bricks up, don't break those bricks. We have them come up straight into our knees, for these aren't ordinary bricks. These bricks that you're laying in the ground are the foundations of Khalsa Raj. These aren't ordinary bricks that you're laying. You think you're laying bricks that are going to bring us to an end. These are the foundation. These are the bricks that are engineering the foundations of the Khalsa Raj to come. So bring them straight, bring them true. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh Ji, they have the knees capped. The caps of their knees have been cut off. Before all of this, they've been tortured. Because of the time constraints, we've not had a chance to go. Baba Fateh Singh Ji is been tied to a tree, and they're launching stones at Baba Fateh Singh Ji. And one of them hits him in Baba Fateh Singh Ji's eye, and his eye starts to bleed. They have sticks that they use to hit the back of Gorde with to make them go fast. Gorde horses, the thin sticks to drive them forward. And the Chote Sahibzaade, they've been beaten with these sticks. They've been released. Will you convert? Will you become a Muslim? No. And so the bricks are now being placed around their bodies, and as they come up, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, they start to go into an emotional state. Baba Fateh Singh Ji looks at their older brother. They say, now you're wavering, my older brother, Veer Ji, now I look upon you and I see upon you an emotional state. Are you wavering, my brother? Baba Zorawar Singh Ji says, no. They say, you're smaller than me. These bricks are going to cover you first. But you're going to get to see Guru Bahadur Ji before I do. But when you get there, say Fateh from me. The bricks raise up high. You can hear Japji Sahib from within the bricks. And as the voices, they get dark, as the voices become a murmur, as the air is being stolen away, the voices become quiet as the Japji Sahibs are resounding from that place. Digena dole, dirir kar rahe puran hoy triptani, until their last breath, but their breaths went to come to an end. A storm would come. A storm would come, and those bricks would fall down. And Shashal Begum would go with his brother, with his accomplice, with his murdering accomplice. They would look upon the bodies of Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh Ji, and they would see that there's still breath in their bodies. And so they would put their knees on their chests. They were only small. And they would take a knife, a sui, a very short blade, a katar, if you will, a very short, stubborn blade. And they would cut the throats of Baba Zorawar Singh Ji and Baba Fateh Singh Ji. This is our itihas. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, our itihas, our history is so young that we have measurements of our history and accuracy of our history, perhaps unprecedented in the world of world religions. Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, they bleed for 2.5 to 3 minutes before their soul leaves their body. Baba Fateh Singh Ji, for 12.5 minutes, their feet are writhing on the floor. Their feet are still shaking on the floor. 12.5 minutes, Adhi Kari. They are, and then in their body, their soul is released from their body. In the physical sense. In the spiritual sense, they were already one. Because why? Atam jine sagal vasata ke jaka sat guru pura. Jaka sat guru pura. They'd already become one with their Lord. Because why? Because they'd already defeated their mind. The Chote Sahibzaade have become Shaheed. It is said that the area where this Shaheedi has taken place, that Japji Sahib, that the Gurmantar Simran, that Bani, forgive me, Bani is emanating from this place. You can still go to Jyoti Sarup, you can go to this place nearby, and there's so much other itihas there, like those that would come to pay for the area in gold, the richest, the biggest price ever paid for an area that they could do the sanskar. There's another Gurdwara where the bodies of the Chote Sahibzaade were taken and they were guarded by lions. Lions would come to guard their bodies that nobody could do biadbi. There's so much itihas to each one of these parts of our history could be time which we spend together on a Thursday in itself. Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, the question we have to ask ourselves, this is not a history lesson. History lessons are for history tests and exams in classrooms far away from where we sit today. This is our history to tell us who we are. This is not history for a history test in a classroom that we might pass for an exam. This itihas, this history that we have today, is to tell us who we are. To tell us who do we want to be. What path is it that I want to dedicate myself to? In this world we've been conditioned so much so that we seek permission and justification from the world before we walk the Guru's path. We put up a post on this on social media just recently. Why are we so concerned about seeking permission from the world before we become the Guru's Sikh? It's about time that we start living Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji. And how do we feel that bliss? We walk the path of the Guru. This itihas is here to shape us, to change us. Who can deny that we haven't been changed as we go through this itihas? I've researched the itihas and I've been blessed to have a chance to narrate it, and I'm changed by the itihas. Gursakhi Jyot Pargat Hoy. Guru Maharaj explains to us, and Gyani Ji is going to bless us with a Shabbat now. We Gursakhi, then when we hear the Guru's teachings, when we hear the Guru's itihas, what will happen? The Jyot will become Pargat. What does Pargat actually mean? Let's just take this moment to reflect. What does Pargat actually mean? Pargat means that which is within you already is drawn forth. It's really important we understand this. As we look in the mirror, we doubt ourselves. Maharaj is saying that Jyot that is already there. You already have it inside. But don't doubt that you can become, that you can take that step. Because Maharaj is not saying they're going to light a Jyot within you, that they're going to give you a Jyot. They're going to make something out of you that's not already there. Maharaj is saying, yo, it's already within you. Gursakhi Jyot Pargat Hoy. It's just a matter for you whether you want it to shine forth. Let's have a little bit of self-respect for what we can achieve by the Guru's blessings. Not by our own efforts, but what Guru can achieve for us, through us. And let's let Guru Sahib help us become Pargat as to who we really are. For let's not just come here and listen and enjoy. Let's come here, listen and grow. That tomorrow is different from today, that we can make progress. I heard it somewhere, I can't give you the source. And they said that Anand, that bliss, happiness, joy isn't in reaching a certain place, but it's in knowing that you're making progress every single day. So what do we have to do? What do we have to do tomorrow that will make us closer to this itihas, that we can feel worthy? Who can really be worthy? No, none of us are worthy. But it's about the Guru Sahib's blessings and the Guru Sahib's benevolence and their kindness as they bestow this upon us, that we can walk this path. So today, with the blessings of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, the blessings of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, we've reflected in short upon the Shaheedi of the Chote Sahibzaade. Those that remain pakka in their dharam, that taught us what it meant, what the price of good Sikhi is, that we should never ever question what sacrifices, what gifts we have to give. That if we ever have a chance to recite the Bani of the Guru, It's not a chore. It's not a chore. It's not an obligation. It's a gift, and it's an honor and a privilege. That if we ever get a chance to come to the Katha and listen to the Guru's teachings, and I'm talking only to myself here, but we should open up our hearts from a place of gratitude and say, Maharaj, thank you for bringing me here today. I could be anywhere today, but by your blessings, by your bakshish, we sit before you. So these are the events that are going to come in a few weeks. We're going to hear this in our social media calendars. Do the research, undertake that journey. There are many Gurmukhs that sleep on the floor during the month of Poh, because the Chote Sahibzaade were sleeping on the Thanda Burj. They would sleep on the floor to pay respects, to be in a state of remembrance. When you wake up at 3 in the morning, you go, why is my back hurting? I'm sleeping on the floor. You can think of the Chote Sahibzaade sleeping upon those rocky enclaves, that slanted rock as the wind is whipping away at their face. So I know I've made many mistakes, because no one can speak of the Chote Sahibzaade without making mistakes. You are the Sangat of Baba. You are the Sangat of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. You are the Sangat. You are the brothers and sisters of Baba Fateh Singh Ji, the brothers and sisters of Baba Zorawar Singh Ji. I ask for your forgiveness and your blessings, that one day we can have darshan of Guru Maharaj, that one day when we look upon the Takht, we can see Guru Maharaj sitting there smiling down upon us, that the teachings can enter our hearts, the teachings can inform our actions, that we can become one with the Guru, that we can realize who we really are inside. Lekhe kathene chutiye khin khin pullanhar baksanhar baksle nanak paryotar. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.